All right, today we have a John Deere B that we're going to go and pick up. I bought this thing. It's actually not that far away from my house. It's maybe a mile or two away. And the idea here is we're going to drive it home, hopefully. So it hasn't run in a couple years. And I went over and made the deal with the guy yesterday and paid him and tried to start it. It wouldn't start. So we're going to go back today with some tools, some gas, that kind of stuff, just some basic equipment. We're going to try and get this thing running. But if that doesn't work, we're going to try and pull start it. If that doesn't work, we're just yanking it home. So like I said, it's only a mile or two away. Should be able to get it back today, hopefully. But anyway, let's go take a look at it. I'll give you guys a walk around once we actually get it home. But for right now, let's work on getting that thing started and get it home. All right, well, here's the John Deere. It's been sitting here in the shed for, gosh, I don't know, I think you said a couple of years. Hasn't been started. So the task today is to get this thing started. Hopefully it'll just turn over and we can get this thing running and drive it home. But first of all, let's add a little fuel to it. Let's see if it'll start up. So it's still a 6-volt system. He's got a 6-volt battery on here, brand new battery. So we're gonna get the battery hooked up, and I played with this yesterday a little bit. It'll turn over. It's just sluggish, and we're gonna check the fuel. I brought some fuel with me. Oh, it looks like it was left on. That's not a good thing. So I've never actually run one of these tractors, but we'll figure it out. There's a choke on it. We're gonna go full choke here. I'm gonna try and turn it over. It's got an electric start here. Let's try that first. Let's just watch it kind of spin over. All right, now let's go half choke. Make sure it's at neutral so I don't run myself over. Okay. Well, it's got 2 tanks. I may have been filling up the wrong tank there. What did I do with the cap? All right, so let's fill up the other one. So at least it runs.
Is there 3?
Yeah, that's probably the radiator, I think. Let's see. Ready. some kind of fuel issue. I'm probably just doing something wrong here. Let's see. So I think there's two different ways to get the fuel on in this thing. There's two tanks, and I'm just trying to figure out how to get this thing selected correctly. I'm not sure how that operates. There's a lever back here. I'm just trying each of these different settings to see what works best. Hopefully that's all it is. Let's try that now. I'm gonna go about, it's about halfway on the choke there. I found there's so this fuel selector right here, I believe selects the tank, the forward and back tank, and then the other one is off completely. So I think that's off, and I believe this is the forward tank. I could be completely wrong here, but I'm gonna try that. That seems to be spinning now. That's different. I'm gonna try that. This obviously it's leaking, but let's see what we can do here. All right. Whew. Starter does not like that. Whole thing's just spinning. I'm wondering if there's an issue with the fuel petcock here. So as I pull, I can feel it kind of catch and then it spins. I don't think that should spin 360 degrees. I don't know. Let's try it right there though. Choke with it. A little better. Okay, let's go back here. There's fuel leaking out, obviously, so at some point this is open. It's leaking here. Try that. Frank, push that starter button really quick. Let me see something.
Ready?
Yep. Okay, hang on. Okay, come back over here. There's fuel spitting out of it. Okay, let's try it again. It might be flooded now. Yeah, it's fuel spitting out of it. So let's go. about 2 miles and we got it home safely, and it was quite a ride. It was actually a really fun tractor to drive. I've never driven one this old, so operating that hand clutch, it's really different because I kept trying to push my foot in on the brake thinking that was the clutch, and obviously it's not. And after I got the hang of the controls, everything went nice and smooth, but trying to figure out how to get it in gear was a little bit of a guessing game, so I had to grind a few gears to figure it out at first there, but everything's good. Came downhill that first time there, and I was a little worried that the transmission wasn't going to hold it, or something was going to go wrong and it was just going to take off and go downhill, but luckily everything was just fine. So I was told it was a John Deere Model B, and I believe he said it was in 1947. And I have to look up, I have the serial number I have to look up and figure out exactly what it was. But maybe you guys out there know more about this tractor. And from what I'm seeing though, the front end of this usually had like the tricycle, I don't know what they call it, but it was the more narrow wheelbase where you had the wheels in the very front. This one's got a wider stance up on that front axle. So not quite sure what this one is, if it is in fact really a Model B or not, but it certainly looks, you know, from the 40s, somewhere in that range. On the back, they've got an implement here, and it looks to me like it was some kind of an older box scraper, something like that. Again, I don't know. They welded or they bolted on some diamond plate onto the back of it there, I think to use it as some kind of maybe a grater, scraper, something like that. But yeah, again, maybe you guys know more about this than I do. You can see the handle up here on the top. This right here, I haven't used it yet, but the last owner was telling me that's how they raised and lowered the implement on the back. And I don't want to mess with it right now and get that all stuck, but apparently that's what that's for. And let's look around a little bit more, see what else we got here. So this was stored in that little carport thing that you saw there for years, and apparently, I don't know, I think it was about 5-10 years ago, the last owner, his dad, put some brand new tires on the back. So these are actually almost brand new. You can see how clean these things look. And up front, these tires apparently were replaced not too long ago as well, so these things look in excellent condition. There's not much weathering going on at all, so these are gonna last quite a while. I checked the oil, coolant, that kind of stuff. When I bought it the other day, everything looked good there, but probably go through it and just do a full service on it, change everything out. Well, not too bad for a 1940s tractor that's been sitting for a couple years. That thing really didn't put up too much of a fight at all, so a little bit of gas and figured out how to operate it, and it's home. So it took about, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour to get it home. Drove it a couple miles and had to get used to the clutch and some other things on the tractor. Like I said, I've never driven one of these, so I had to figure it out as I was going. And that first hill, I don't know if you saw, but I was kind of had both feet on the brakes, my hand on the clutch, ready to throw it in neutral just in case something went wrong. But going downhill, that first one, that was a little bit, you kind of second guess what you're doing there for a minute, because if this thing gets out of control, you're going on a ride that you don't want to be on. But anyway, luckily, everything worked great, ran good, brakes worked. Now, we just got to figure out what to do with it.